Maddie Barker, a 32-year-old woman in Montauk, New York, is struggling to make ends meet during the peak tourist season. Gary, a tow truck driver, arrives at her house to repossess her car due to unpaid property taxes. Maddie pleads with him, explaining that she's arranging a payment plan with the county, but Gary insists he has a court order and tows the car. Maddie is left stranded without the car she needs for her Uber driving job and wearing only skate shoes. Desperate, she tries to reclaim her car, but this leads to her arrest. Maddie is facing the potential seizure of her home due to rising property taxes, a consequence of vacationers buying properties in the area. She owes a significant amount and must pay it by September to prevent the county from auctioning off her house. As a bartender, Maddie is struggling financially and is determined to save her family home. At work, Maddie confides in her friends, Jim and Sarah, about her financial woes and the loss of her Uber income due to the car repossession. Jim suggests selling the house to capitalize on the booming market, but Maddie refuses. Sarah discovers a strange Craigslist ad in the auto parts section. A wealthy couple is offering a low-mileage Buick Regal in exchange for a young woman in her early 20s to date their shy 19-year-old son, Percy, hoping to improve his social skills before he starts Princeton. Despite being older than the specified age range, Maddie applies for the position. She attends an interview at the couple's opulent mansion, where she meets Percy's parents, Laird and Allison. They explain that Percy is a genius lacking social skills and friends, spending most of his time in his room. They want Maddie to date Percy to boost his confidence, hinting at a physical relationship. Maddie convinces them that she looks younger than her age and has the experience to handle the situation. They agree that if she successfully dates Percy and helps him mature, she will receive the Buick. Percy's parents reveal that Percy volunteers at a local animal shelter but want to keep it a secret. They instruct Maddie to stage a meet cute at the shelter by pretending to be interested in adopting a dog. Maddie arrives at the animal shelter and encounters Percy, a shy and awkward young man. She immediately flirts with him and expresses interest in adopting a dog. Percy shows her the dog and inquires about her living situation and ability to care for it. Maddie insists on a private conversation and leads him to his office. Inside, Maddie attempts to get close to Percy while he records her information. As he asks another question, she distracts him and closes his laptop. Percy becomes flustered, grabs his phone, and claims he needs to report to the company. He denies her application, deeming her an unsuitable owner due to her vague answers and erratic behavior. Maddie then pressures Percy to let her drive him home, urging him to leave work early. Seeing her van, he declines and insists on taking his bike. Maddie throws his bike into the van and demands he get in. Confused, Percy complies. On the way, he realizes she's not heading home and questions her. She dismisses his concerns, claiming it's a shortcut. He then notices sharp objects in the back of the van, becomes frightened, and secretly sends a text message. Maddie seizes his phone. She drives to his house, but a terrified Percy sprays pepper spray in her eyes. Blinded, Maddie stumbles out of the van. Percy demands to know why she's kidnapping him. Maddie denies it and asks him for water to rinse her eyes. After she washes her eyes, she claims she only wanted to take him on a date because she finds him attractive. Percy is bewildered but flattered by the attention from an older woman. He apologizes for the pepper spray, and they arrange a proper date for the following evening. The next night, she takes him to a local bar. He arrives wearing a suit jacket with shorts. He immediately asks if he is allowed to be there. She insists it's fine because she knows the owner. Percy appears uncomfortable, even shocked when they break the pool and orders a Pepsi, but Maddie pressures him into ordering a Long Island iced tea. He takes small sips, visibly grimacing at the taste. The conversation is strained. Maddie attempts to be seductive, but Percy misses the cues and talks about the dogs at the shelter, mentioning a new dog she could adopt. Their date is interrupted by Travis, a man Maddie previously ghosted. Bitter and resentful, Travis creates a scene, sarcastically thanking Maddie for leaving him because he then met the love of his life. He insults Maddie, calling her broken. Percy watches silently. Travis warns Percy before returning to his seat. Percy then asks Maddie awkward questions like why she sleeps with people if she doesn't have feelings, which infuriates Maddie. To escape the awkwardness, Maddie suggests they go somewhere more private. They drive to a deserted beach at night. Maddie suggests they go skinny dipping. Percy is terrified of breaking the rules and mentions the lack of lifeguards and the risk of sharks. Maddie ignores him, strips naked, and runs into the ocean. Reluctantly, Percy undresses and joins her in the water. As they tread water, Maddie tries to get closer, but Percy is stiff and nervous. Suddenly, they hear voices from the shore. A group of teenagers has discovered their pile of clothes and is stealing them. Maddie screams at them to stop, but the teens laugh and run away with everything: clothes, phones, and car keys. Fueled by adrenaline and rage, Maddie charges out of the water, completely naked. She fights with the teenagers and manages to retrieve their clothes. When she returns to him, he asks what she did with the kids. She only says that they apologized and then asks if he can clap her there, but he refuses, saying he won't do it with someone he doesn't know. This angers her. She tells him he should, feels sorry for himself and declares that she is done with it, then leaves him. She gets dressed and goes to her car. Percy approaches her and asks for his clothes back. She returns them, but he realizes his phone is missing. He asks if she's seen it, but she ignores him and drives off. Enraged, Percy jumps onto the hood of the car, demanding his phone to contact his family. Maddie drives off with him clinging to the hood, naked, through the streets, attracting stares. A police car spots them and orders her to stop, but Maddie, who is on probation and risks losing her license, speeds towards a train track and evades them. Back at the house, Percy is surprised to see her. While she's in the bathroom, he asks if she wants to listen to music. She puts on hip-hop and starts dancing for him. Confused when she is asked to smack it, he awkwardly pushes her away. She continues dancing, getting closer, making him uncomfortable. She invites him to the bedroom, which he accepts. He starts scratching anxiously. She checks his back and notices injuries. He apologizes for her arousal and his inability to reciprocate, but she tries to seduce him, recounting a similar experience from high school, saying, "It's okay." Percy then reveals he was bullied in school and isolated himself to avoid judgment. He shares rumors about his friends, discovering he used to sleep with his parents, which was traumatic. He apologizes again and suggests spending the next day together, mentioning he might work out. The next day they spend time playing together. He gives her some awkward gifts and then asks if they could be friends in high school because she would be prom queen. Maddie admits she didn't go to prom and shares her own trauma. Her father left her and her mother when she was young, starting a new family in the same town. She stayed in Montauk and wrote him letters asking why he abandoned her, but he returned them unopened. Moved by her story, he asks if he can kiss her. Maddie kisses him, but the moment is interrupted by a call from his nanny. She asks if they can go to her house because she is still aroused, but he sees Jody. They encounter Jody, Percy's former nanny, who is suspicious of Maddie's sudden interest and warns her not to hurt him. Maddie dismisses her. Later, at Maddie's house, she gives her friends a gift, but they don't like it. They ask about her relationship with Percy. Maddie says they haven't slept together and that she likes him as a friend, but he needs to be more intimate. They are going on a date, which makes her friends suspicious. Soon after, Doug, a high school friend who is now a real estate broker, arrives. He asks about selling her house, warning that the county will foreclose if she can't pay off her lien. Maddie refuses. Maddie and Percy go to their first prom. On the way, Percy gives Maddie a flower and says he left his phone at home to talk without distractions, showing newfound confidence. At the restaurant, Maddie asks Percy to play music. He resists, but she threatens to give an embarrassing speech if he doesn't. He overcomes his shyness and plays piano and sings, impressing everyone. Maddie is speechless. After his performance, people applaud. Percy returns to Maddie, who compliments his song. A friend from Percy's university interrupts them. He's excited to see Percy but doesn't recognize Maddie, assuming she's a friend of Percy's parents. He invites Percy to a party. Maddie declines for both of them, but gives the friend the address, upsetting Percy. She comments that Percy can sing but can't drive. Percy says he might get his license to travel to school and asks if she would visit him, even though it's a 5-hour train ride. She says she doesn't want a long-distance relationship and refuses to discuss it, so Percy leaves early. Afterwards, she says she's being realistic, angering him. He drives her to the party without her consent. When she refuses, he tells her not to come, but she secretly follows him inside. Gen Z teenagers stare at her as she enters. She finds 2 teenagers filming a bullying incident and interrupts them, even bullying them herself. They record her, but she ignores them and searches for Percy. Everyone is confused by her presence and starts filming her. She checks each room, but one is locked. She forces the door open and finds Percy with some girls. She asks if he had sex with them, but they deny it, saying he only took a pill. Maddie makes him vomit while helping him. The homeowner confronts her, saying she doesn't belong at a high school party and demanding she leave. As they argue, Percy, still drunk, throws a punch but accidentally hits Maddie in the neck. They quickly leave the party. On their way home, he apologizes and reveals he's ready to have sex, showing the condom he's been hiding. She takes it to help, but he says he loves her, making Maddie stop and insist they shouldn't do it because he is drunk. The next morning, Percy tells his parents that he's getting his driver's license and has a girlfriend, making them happy at first. However, he reveals that he's not going to Princeton because his girlfriend is here, angering them. He points out that he's 19 and can make his own decisions. The parents then call Maddie. They mention that Percy no longer wants to go to Princeton and wants to stay in Montauk with her. They offer Maddie the car if she convinces Percy to go to college. Surprised they'd give her the car without expecting anything in return, she agrees. However, Percy overhears their conversation in his Tesla, devastating him. Furious, he meets his family for breakfast, drinking heavily, and invites Maddie to meet them. The atmosphere is tense. Now that he knows everything, he asks his parents why they don't ask Maddie where she's from. Filled with anger, he starts insulting her, asking about her age, how they met, and how horny she is, making everyone uncomfortable. Soon after, he gets a phone call and leaves, telling them they can chat. He meets his friend and plans to destroy her car because she destroyed his heart. His friend encourages him and they crash her car. He returns to the house but goes straight to his room. She follows him there, asking what is wrong, but he tries to kiss her. She refuses, saying his parents are downstairs, but he doesn't care. He asks her if he can have sex and why she is refusing, asking if there's any problem. She agrees and gets into bed. She tells him to get on top, but he finishes quickly on her thigh. Then he tells her that he crashed her car into a tree and asks if all this is real. She admits it was because she tells him personal things she hasn't told anyone else. She even tells him that he doesn't have to worry about money because he has parents, while she is about to lose her house because she doesn't have a father. Percy doesn't hold back and tells her she will waste her entire life waiting for her father to come back and apologize to her, which leaves her speechless, and she leaves the house. She is deeply hurt, unaware that she has a connection with him. By morning, she retrieves her crashed car. Percy is now in full control over his parents. He tells them that what they did was inappropriate. He then asks if they've kept another secret from him, but they deny it and insist they haven't done anything else wrong. Finally, he orders them to leave his house, telling his mother not to touch anything. Maddie reluctantly begins working as an Uber driver with her damaged car to earn money. She learns that her friends are moving to Florida because they can no longer live with their families, and they suggest she do the same. However, Maddie refuses to leave her mother's house. Everything changes when she meets someone who tries to become intimate with her, but she refuses. She then starts living her life happily, fixing her car and selling her house. Afterward, she goes to meet Percy. First, she visits his dog adoption center, but can't find him there. Then, she goes to his home, but he isn't there either. However, someone informs her that he will be at a Princeton mixer. She goes to the place and finds him. He runs away from her, saying he doesn't owe her anything. However, she admits that their friendship was real and that she was hurt. She also declares that she will hurt people. Despite this, he gets into his car, but she jumps onto it, just like before. As he drives off, she accuses him of using him for a car. He drives onto a beach and crashes into a fire, which Maddie then puts out. He then drives straight into the ocean, pushing her into it. He gets out of the car to help her, and she apologizes for what she did. They sit up to talk, and he admits that he is no longer a virgin. He says he will come for Thanksgiving, but she tells him she is moving to California. She surprises her friend by selling her house to them, leaving her speechless. At his house, Percy says goodbye to his parents, believing he can now do everything himself and doesn't need anyone's help. At his door, he meets Maddie, his Uber driver. She tells him she has a new boyfriend who is a police officer. She also mentions a past drug addiction, but quickly clarifies that she's actually referring to a dog she met at an adoption center. Then, he leaves with her. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.